Good morning, people, brothers and sisters. Today is the 24th of June, 2022. I come to tell you all about the vision I had last night when I was laying in bed about to go to sleep. I don't know why God is dealing with me like that. I don't know. I don't know why He's been dealing with me like that the last 2 days because I uploaded a video, two messages of June of 22nd, 22. And that day was significant. But um, I had a vision in the middle of the day, and then I had a vision that night. And so y'all can go find that. It was talking about, one vision was talking about one thing I sought to do, I'm rejecting. Then another thing was talking about God ruling with his rod of iron. Okay. I made a statement that I feel like the guy was talking about the Daniel prophecy, the Daniel vision that he interpreted for Nebuchadnezzar. So it was confirmed last night because last night when I was laying on my side, God struck my feet, and God is showing me how this is the time that he's here in his glory, his power, and his authority, ruling and reigning. And this is the time, because when in Daniel 7, I believe the two visions he had, or the two dreams he had, was in Daniel 2 and in Daniel 7. In Daniel 2, I believe that was the vision of Nebuchadnezzar. Y'all go check this out. The vision of the one he interpreted for Nebuchadnezzar. And then Daniel 7, I believe that was the four kingdoms that Daniel saw. And then he saw, four kingdoms Daniel saw that would be taken over by the fifth, which is Jesus Christ's kingdom. Okay. And so last night, like I said, the vision was the Lord struck my feet. So the vision, the dream the vision that Daniel had to interpret for Nebuchadnezzar, a rock was cut out and struck the feet that was made of iron and clay. Okay, so it was confirmed what I thought the day of June of 22nd, that was linked to the vision that Daniel had of the statue. So last night God confirmed it because he struck my feet. But I want to say this. So I wanted to give y'all that because we are at that time. They said this is a prophecy for a future time. So God is showing me that this is the time. Okay. So all of God's sons and daughters will be getting in position to fulfill their assignment, in which God declared from the very beginning that is so. Okay. Whether you like it or not. Even God has been dealing with me about some things because lately I have been kind of like in a place of rejection. And the Lord told me, in order to help, I have to be willing, And so, but it's a tricky thing though, because if there's Jonah got swallowed up by a fish. God told Jonah to go to Nineveh, right? And Jonah didn't want to go, so Jonah got swallowed up by a fish. Not only that, God told Moses to do something, right? Moses said send somebody else, but God said no. Moses went anyway and did fulfill the assignment. So we are at a time that even if you don't want to fulfill an assignment, God will tell you you got to be willing. But if you're not willing, then guess what? You'll be like Jonah. And you'll have to talk to God like Moses did as well. And many other people like Abraham and Sarah, they went into two kingdoms. They went into the Pharaoh's kingdom, and they went into Abimelech's kingdom. And both times they was trying to deceive the men or the kings there. And guess what happened? Because of Sarah and Abraham was being deceptive, and the man took Sarah, guess what happened? God dealt with the kings. Why? Sarah and Abraham already knew, that they didn't supposed to have been doing that, but, they did it anyway. And so what God didn't do, that he didn't go back and he maybe deal with Sarah and Abraham in their own time, but God dealt with the kings that took this wife of promise to Abraham. So I'm gonna tell you, beloveds, like it's either to choose. You're gonna sink or swim. But at the end of the day, if you want to live, you're gonna swim. Okay, so let me clear that up for you. Which mean is you're gonna either do the will of God or you're not. And if you don't, at the end of the day, that's your death. That's your life. So you're gonna end up doing it anyway. Even though God said, you have to be willing. And that is true. You have to be willing. Your heart has to be there. But it is about the church. God is giving men of God and women of God a position to be a shepherd. And they are not doing it. They was given a position to be a shepherd, but they has become the hired hand. Okay, so God is dealing with his church on a great level. But also while God is dealing with his church, God is dealing with the government. God is dealing with the courts. God is dealing with just so many other things. There's so many other kingdoms in this earth realm right now. Why? Because the court is corrupt as it relates to children. This court system is, and I've dealt with this personally in my own life, like family court. This court system has never been for what it was at first, but it's not now. It's not for families to keep families together. What I mean about that, people's going to get divorced if they want to get divorced. But what I mean about keep families together, they bring in the court bringing greater division between man and woman, exes, because of how treacherous they have been. Like they taking bribes. They don't go by the law. They don't do things in an orderly fashion in which it was created. And so they are making their own rules. So that's what the court. God is dealing with the court, federal court, civil court. God is dealing with the court system overall. And I know we probably don't see it, but you will start seeing it here in the future. It will display on news. You will start seeing it on the news, how things are going to start being uncovered. God said everything that's hidden will be disclosed. God is about to start uncovering everything. And not only that, like the church missions, like people, like they got organizations where they say they go out on missions to help people or whatever. That's a fraud. Did it start out being fraudulent? I don't know. But right now, like these church missions, it's not about the mission going out to overseas or to countries to help the people. It's about helping themselves, making themselves look good. So you'll start seeing that in the news. You're going to start seeing how God is dismantling these people that have exalted themselves in government. You will start seeing that. It's just so many things you will start seeing in the news. So many things. And as far as the news, like CNN and NBC and what the news of the world, the people that's trying to control the airways, the people that's trying to control what's released on TV, they're going to try to stop certain things that's happening in the world. But God is not going to allow it. He's going to let it spring forth. So they're going to stop like they do now. They're going to try to continue to control what is being released on the news, the real news. They're going to continue to try to do that. But God is saying no. And I don't know how he's going to, you know, create a way for the real news to be delivered through television, but God is personally going to do that. And what else? It's something else I'm missing, y'all. And I will tell y'all about it later if I remember. It's something else I'm missing. Something that's very important. Something that's very important. You will also see you had started seeing this one attorney in the state of South Carolina that him and his family was prominent in his state for like 100 years, like of lawyers, attorneys. You will start seeing them as well being exposed. How they, you know, the many things that they do in their firms, that's morally and unethical, morally incorrect and unethical. How they have these dealings, how they take bribes, and how they do all these things. You will start seeing that. When you will start seeing it, I don't know. I think I don't know the time, but I do know that will start being, God will start exposing that as well. That's not the thing that I was saying that is something important I'm supposed to express that I'm forgetting about. That wasn't it, but that's something else that you will see. What else? I'm trying to think of something else. I'm trying to think of the important thing. Okay, so anyways, I will upload it later when I think about it, but God is taking back his land. He is taking back his land. A lot of things is in his land. He is taking stuff up by the root. What is the root of a problem? Everything that happened in this earth realm started with a root of a thing. It's like when you plant a tree, right? You don't plant a tree without roots. Like you don't put a tree in soil that don't have roots. So everything that have been planted and have grew in this world, there's a root. There's a root. It started from somewhere. It stemmed from somewhere. All right. Every tree my father did not plant, I'm taken up by the root. And God is here taking back his land. Don't be deceived, y'all. Everything you see is not what you see. Everything you see with your natural eyes, brothers and sisters, is not what you see. Y'all have to figure out who y'all are. Who y'all are in the kingdom of God. Who you are. If you don't know who you are, then you'll be you know, it's like you fight in the wind. You moving aimlessly because you don't know who you are. And then the devil can deceive you and try to make you think that you're supposed to do one thing and that's not what you're supposed to do. So you have to really and for some people it comes with fasting and praying. Why? Because you've been deceived for so long that you've been deceived for so long of knowing who you are that the enemy gonna try to keep you bound by any means necessary. So you have to go into a place of fasting and prayer to figure it out. Who are you? And so the process won't be long for you. I just pray that God will send send a pure vessel, his from a pure vessel from him. That's not dealing with jealousy, that's not dealing with corruption, that's not dealing with any of that. I pray that God start sending out his messengers, his angels, to speak into your life, to tell you, to show you who you are. So the process won't be so long, and you will find out who you are quickly, so you can fulfill your personal assignment, corporately and individually. So this is a need to know who you are. And may it be into the earth that God will breathe his breath into this earth realm. I breathe in his breath. Is speaking into your life so you can move forward. So God have already struck in the realm of the spirit. I saw God striking the feet of iron and clay, where he struck my feet last night. And so he struck the feet of iron and clay in the heavenly realm, spiritual realm. Now what does that mean for us? That everything that's in heaven will manifest here on earth. Everything, let it be in heaven as it is. Let it be on earth as it is in heaven. So just, this is just a word of wisdom. Just know that the Lord, the scepter, will remain in his hand. And so, and he's here with it, his iron scepter, ruling and reigning. It said the rock will grow like a mountain. That means that his people will flourish. His people will rise up. His people is coming up out of their grave. He's breaking the chains off the African American people. The African American people will not be bound